I'm Gemma Atkinson, I'm 27 years old and I'm a filmmaker living in London. On the 25th of March, my boyfriend and I were coming back from a meeting from Embankment and then got to Aldgate East tube station, and we were about to come through the barriers and a woman with a sniffer dog pointed Fred out before we'd actually got through the barriers. So by the time Fred got through, he was taken by two uniformed police officers to the main walkway. I knew Fred didn't have any drugs on him, but he was searched for around 10 to 15 minutes. I was told to stand back first of all by an officer because I was stood close by, so I did, and then decided to film. I got my mobile phone out of my pocket. I started to film him from a distance and the two officers searching him. Then I continuing filming, walked along the walkway back to the barriers so that I could get the woman with the sniffer dog. I was pretending to text, really, because I knew that there had been this new terrorism law that had come in. I was trying to do it subtly, which I failed to do because an officer, a plainclothes officer, saw me.
Yeah. I haven't.
A plainclothes officer came up to me and didn't identify himself as an officer. He stated it was illegal to film the police under the Anti-Terrorism Act. He said, "I think you've been filming though, I want to see your phone," and tried to grab for it. So I put it in my right jacket pocket and he continued sort of trying to twist me around, and he took hold of my arm and was trying to twist me around to get into my jacket pocket. So I asked him to stop touching me and that he was hurting me. And so he stopped sort of struggling with me, but continued holding my left arm and twisted me around to talk so that he could speak to two plainclothes female officers who were standing close by. I didn't know, again, that they were officers, and then you see him twisting me around to these two plainclothes officers, to which he then says to them, "This young lady's been filming with her mobile phone. It's against the law and it's in her right-hand pocket and I'm trying to get to it." I pushed myself down to the ground and pushed myself into the corner of the wall. There was a struggle like this for about 10 minutes. I was told by one of the female officers that they could just arrest me and look at my phone there. I felt totally helpless. I was being restrained and I felt like no one was listening to me, because during this whole thing I was saying, "But this is a breach of my civil liberties and you can't do this to me, I've done nothing wrong." The treatment got worse in that after around 10 minutes of this struggling and no one coming to help, the first plainclothes officer told the woman to my right to cuff her. He said, "Right, cuff her." So I had a handcuff put on my right wrist and she held onto that. Then obviously that prompted me to ask more and more what I had done wrong and why I was being treated in this way. One of them said, "We're here to protect you." I told him he wasn't protecting me, but in fact he was protecting himself. And he said, "Well, I don't want to see myself all over the internet." I understood why suddenly he had been so aggressive and why they were being so aggressive toward me. He was obviously worried for himself, and if he was worried about himself being on the internet, then he must know that he was in the wrong. When I was finally told that I could be released, and my asking for two of the officers' names and identity numbers, I was told, "Well, you didn't give me my name, so why should I give you yours?" To which I said, "You're a police officer, it's your duty to give it to me," and both of them just walked off. For them to treat me in that way for 40 minutes and not tell me what I'd done wrong and tell me the reason for my arrest, and just told that I could be released with no explanation, and then not to give their names. That's why I made the complaint straight away that night after I left the station. I wrote down everything that happened to me. Months later I got a call from an inspector at the local police station wanting to apologise for the behaviour of the policeman. And his his excuse for the way that they had acted was that they were fresh out of Hendon, they were untrained, and they didn't know what they were doing. I know the police officers that were dealing with me looked fairly old.